2 years, 5 at the.
Because it's a nationwide or global company.
I think that's more of a reason to pretend to at least have a little security.
Pretending that's the key word.
It's difficult to look something up to see if someone else has added it to any of the many online password databases without going, damn, if I do this, then I'm adding it to that database. But I really want to look up that password and see if anybody has leaked it yet, because I figure they have.
And so you probably just go to Have I Been Hacked or whatever and type in Siemens and see all the passwords associated to Siemens.
Yeah.
If it's that surprisingly short, then
Well, so there was a thing I watched earlier today. It was very disturbing. The Tundra routers.
yeah.
So their newer routers they finally encrypted their firmware, but you can go to the IP address / this folder / this, and then cat that address, and it turns telnet on, and you can just have root, and it's like, that's messed up, and it's like
those old WRT 54 Linksys routers.
Yeah.
Were surprisingly easy because you could
Well,
TFTP into them.
Well, but then what my thing was,
and then
so even if you
had
disable and turn off telnet, somebody else can remote from the WAN side, hit that page, and it turns telnet back on.
See, I'm not sure that you could do that with those WRTs.
And then that's what this guy was like. This should be ludicrously illegal. and it's like, but the nice thing is like on the newest model.
Hi, Art.
Hi there.
AC 1200.
You're kind of quiet. I can't hear you very well.
I don't know. I hear you fine.
Okay.
But now they have random passwords at least.
Yeah.
And he said, but he found a way to bypass that and get to the firmware and talk to the comm channel, because it spits the password out to the console in plain text on boot.
That's pretty much what that WRT did. As soon as you connected to, what was it? You hit an extra web, the website 192.168.1.1.
Yeah.
You put a slash and something else, and it would just, here's the password.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, at least on that though, you had to be internal.
yeah.
I mean,
well,
that's
true.
what discourages me to pieces. Is like, this is talking about, like, it doesn't matter which side you're on. It just hit it with this, and it's like, boom, telnet prompt.
But
like,
still,
boom,
but
shell.
still, it shouldn't be that simple.
Yeah. Well, evidently,
I mean, and if you opened your router up, if you open the ports up to the entire world, anybody could do it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what he was saying about the older one was there's two sets of admins. Both of them are built into the firmware, but there's a else statement in the login routine. So,
Mhm.
but
I wonder if they're
ZD admin, and then the password was ZD admin 0.
I wonder if they're running like an old.
There's no way to keep somebody out of the Tundra, the older model.
Yeah.
Because you can turn telnet on at any given time. The old models didn't even bother to require a login, but the newer generation did. But then it's like, here's everybody in the world knows ZD admin and ZD admin 0. So
It sounds like, I wonder if they're using like a version of firmware that came from the old Linksys.
I don't know.
Because it sounds exactly like how you get
Well,
around
at least
the
old
Linksys.
Well, and that's what was I never understood. The old Linksys their vulnerability came out of Alpha, which was their tester, a hardware tester, because he was lazy and put in a back code, and it had, at least it was a string of numerics about yay long. You just had to know it.
Let's see if I can adjust the volume.
Do-do-do-do-do.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it.
I'll say it looks like it's all maxed out.
It does look like it's maxed out. My the volume is maxed out, Art, so I don't know why you're having a problem hearing me.
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
It's probably because he dropped the microphone.
Hello?
No,
It rolled off the desk a little bit ago.
it landed in a nice, soft, cushy chair.
I do turn on the automatically adjust on mine. But which mic is it using? Is it the
snowball? Yeah.
Huh.
Da 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 da.
See, I think that's worse. I don't know.
Test 1, 2. Yeah, it don't like me.
Doesn't
You
like
sure it's
you.
the snowball?
Yeah.
What the drop down says.
Yeah, okay, that's what the
Okay,
drop down
yeah.
says. The drop down says that it's the snowball.
Survey says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the password.
No, that was most Microsoft software for years.
Why is it saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
I was just talking to my mom about that. So obviously I'm kind of a fan of Linux and Unix, and I was talking about how in Unix, the first year all programmers get to do is go over documentation and write man pages. At least that's what it used to be. They need to get back to that. And she's like, well, if Unix is so great, why isn't it everywhere? And I went into how Bill Gates basically just was mean.
Well, that's the companies went along with it because he was in the click, arm twisting.
The BSA should not be allowed to exist.
There's a lot of things that shouldn't exist, and it's not getting good.
Yeah.
That's just a test program. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 doesn't mean.
So hello world.
It doesn't mean anything.
World pointer hello world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It doesn't mean anything.
Somewhere there's a password of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And because of your sign, they
Everybody's
just got
going
hacked.
to know it.
Oh, shnikes.
So I can set up the other. So you don't remember.
I am so sick of this particular spam message. I get this at least 4 times a day.
Personal loan inquiry through one of our lending partners. I'd like to review your request because I may have additional loan terms that could better fit your needs. Press 2 now or call me at 888-310.
Get a real bank or fake bank?
Oh, I don't know. I've never called them. Ever, right?
Based on the information you've already provided to the lending partners, I'd like to complete a quick review and discuss
And it
the loan terms
repeats
available.
this for
I
almost
work
2
with a network
minutes.
of lenders,
Nice.
including some with
We're
more
after
flexible
your-
qualification guidelines.
Fill your bank.
So I keep deleting it, and one of the few things about Android that irritates me is that when I'm in the list of phone calls, I can't select multiple and then say delete them all. Each one is hold it for a moment, delete, yes, I meant it. Hold it a moment. I should be able to select 15 things and then go kill them all. I don't
Used to
mark
be able
most
to.
of them spam because they keep calling back from different numbers. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've got my phone set so it only rings if it's a number in my address book, and I got 600 numbers in there, so I'm not likely to miss something important.
The briefing yesterday was about well, I don't know, not really a hacking group, but a fraud, a phishing group that's pretending to be bank fraud departments,
Mm-hmm.
and then, assuring you because they got your information because they've gotten into the bank or they've used your login credential to, when they sent you a text message, and then they call you back pretending to be from the bank's, fraud, and then they, he was talking about how elaborate they've gotten into that, they patch you into this other guy, and that's supposed to be the police taking the report and the police report and this and that, and, wanting you to escalate to the, like the corporate manager or something like that, or the finance officer, so then they have all this information so they can sound real legit when they talk to the CTF or whoever controls the big accounts for a wire transfer. It was bonkers though, what all they, and I said that it's so common, there's so many people doing it, but there's only a handful of people doing the phishing pages. So they target them because there's only 2 or 3 places they can get away with it still. And I was like, that's bonkers. But they tried to pull something like that with my mom's office 2 or 3 years ago. They called one of their clients pretending to be my mom, and then told them that, that they needed to wire transfer their, payment that was 8 months overdue or whatever.
Yeah. Patty so our apartment complex got bought by some investment group.
Yeah, BlackRock.
I have no idea. It's a very large investment group. Apparently they own hundreds of apartments,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even thousands.
Oh,
But for like the past several days, we have been getting emails. You haven't paid. You need to pay. You please pay. And it's like, we paid. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Keep your receipts.
Well,
Well, what everybody is saying is the previous owners may have been extorting money or embezzling money, because they took everything. They took all the paperwork. They took everything, the furniture, everything that was left in the office. So these people basically had to start over. Now, like I said, they're a huge company, so starting over probably wasn't that big a deal, but rebuilding all the contracts and everything from nothing seems like it is just frustrating the crap out of them.
there's followed a case there in I think it was Florida. There was a couple that had made their payment. The bank said they had not. The bank refused to work with them. The bank tried to foreclose on them. And finally, they got it straightened out. Basically, the couple walked in and foreclosed on the bank because the bank hadn't paid their property tax. And then the bank wanted to talk.
So, like the past 3 weeks, well, no, it's probably been a little bit longer than that. From maybe when Dad passed, there hasn't been like any manager permanent there. They just send these random people from other complexes that they've got, and you have no idea who these people are. I mean, they're in the office, so they must be legit, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what the FBI guy was saying yesterday. It's because they can spoof. Like, they know the phone numbers of these banks that they've targeted,
Yeah.
and they're spoofing. It's saying it's from the fraud department of such and such bank. So the incoming call looks legit. And like their biggest thing is make sure you hang up and you call them.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just, I go down there to the office and say, hey, we paid. And she goes, I know. Everybody got the same email.
Nice.
I've been dealing with 400 people.
Most of them are very angry.
Most of them are very angry, yes. Most of them are, there was one guy that the very first day that we got the email, he was down there and he was, AI this and AI that, and AI is going to kill us, and why is AI sending something that said I owe them $17,000? Like, dude, I don't think AI sent this. I think it was just a weird glitch that they haven't caught up. The paperwork and the computer are lagging behind each other.
yeah. Well, nothing should be going out though until they get their ducks in a row.
So, yes and no. Unfortunately, there's a 50-50 chance that your original company and your new company both deal with LCS as the billing center point or whatever. And that is a strangely mixed up company. They're very good at dealing with a company, but if another company buys company A, transferring records out of that database into company B's database, they haven't figured that out yet.
Well, like I said, the original managers, property managers that were there, took everything.
Yeah.
They cleaned out everything. Really, it wasn't their computers. I mean, they weren't the owners. They were the property managers.
I mean,
But
they've been telling people for years it's got to be broom cleaned out when you leave. Maybe they just took it to heart.
Maybe. They took the furniture. They took everything. It's like they were there and then they were gone. And I'm like, yeah, that does scream of we're trying to hide something we don't want you to see.
Well, they probably were hostilely taken over and didn't give two rats ass. And usually the company taken over doesn't give two rats ass about the old gear. So
I get the impression that they really wanted the computers though.
Well, I'm just saying
They may not have cared too much about the copier and the other crap that they took, but I really think they were, because all the maintenance records, everything, just gone. They have no idea what maintenance needs to be done.
All of it needs to be done.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what they're doing. They're going through each apartment and going, what needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
And it's going to take them
That's
for
good.
flipping ever to do it. There's 400 apartments in that complex. So.
That is quite the stack of adapters.
Yeah, see, you never got to see the stack of adapters because I had to leave that sitting on the desk.
Because touching it broke connections or something?
No, because I got this strapped together because it's way too long and just picking stuff up and look at this mess of wires.
Did you need a shorter phone cord or something?
So this isn't a phone cord. It's a
6 conductor.
6 conductor. So it's a industrial or a commercial grade phone thing. Yeah.
So you've got a gender changer and a null modem adapter.
My house is wired in that.
It's good stuff.
Really?
Yeah, 6 wire.
It's good stuff.
This silk cord?
Well, that's the problem though too. Is like I don't really think I use any of it anymore because it's so old. It's rotted
Mm-hmm.
because it was outside, where it came into the house.
Okay.
And but yeah, like the bedrooms and all the other 6-wire twisted pairs in the outlets, and then but then I said I bypassed all that when we had the wall open and ran a brand new line and moved
Cat
the box
5.
into the wall.
Cat 6.
I think I ran regular phone cord, or 24 AWG sod core or whatever.
The
4-wire, but it only goes to one room. But then, like I said, now I think about it, when we swapped to fiber, now we're on the fiber. So I don't even know the outlets are.
this cable was a
fiber.
This cable was a 100-foot cable. Parts Express had it years ago. Years ago, they had it listed for $1.
Yeah.
It should be $1 a foot.
Yeah.
It was $1 for 100 foot of this cable.
Yeah.
Can't pass up
And
again.
I went, well, I needed it. I was looking for it. I needed it to make cables for the signs. And I called them up and I said, I need, let's give me 5 of these. And she went, okay, that's going to be like $500. I said, go check the website. It's $1. And she checked and she went, oh my God, they made a huge mistake. She goes, listen,
I'll give you one.
She said, I've got to sell you one, but I can't sell you any more. So I got one cable and chopped it in 2 so I could make 2 50-foot cables.
So $1 a foot sounds pretty.
This
high to
stuff,
me.
at least way back in the day,
Yeah.
this stuff was
Expensive.
flippin' expensive. And
I've got crimpers and ends for that if you want to make a shorter cable.
well,
I don't have any of the cable though.
I got on eBay and I found a 14-foot cable for $6.
Okay, that's a much more reasonable price.
Well, and it's 20 some odd years later too. So.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I remember buying
Coppers.
1,000-foot spools of that.
1,000 times higher now
$25.
too.
It used to be cheap at one point.
Well, whatever at the time this stuff was expensive, and that
Yeah.
the cheapest I could find was about 60 foot of 60 foot per, and even then that was like more than I wanted to spend on.
That's what a bunch of the like Roam, ROLM phone systems used, and
Yeah.
the Merlin could be set up for that.
Yeah.
They'd use that to break out 3 POTS lines, that
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what this stuff was really meant for, and it's supposed to be twisted pair so it can handle the distance
Mm-hmm.
longer, better.
First time I popped the outlet open in the back or bedroom, I was like, what the hell is this stuff? It was like blue, there's 6 wires, it was like blue, blue, white, white, blue, or white, orange, and like
Mhm.
orange, white, and I'm like, where's the red, green, brown, and black, or yellow, green, black, or whatever phone
That's-
cords. I was like, this is weird stuff, what is this?
So the first pair is white with a blue stripe and blue with a white stripe. The second pair is
Yeah, some-
green and white and
The-
green. And I never understood why they ever had the yellow, black, red, and green in homes.
In homes.
Because it was the same color code all the way across the country.
Yeah.
And then for the last 12 feet in your house, they used different wire.
But no,
I was so close to using Cat 5 and just
Mhm.
cutting the wires out that I didn't need, because every time I went to try to get this cable,
Yeah.
it was just insanely expensive.
If you do decide to, I've got the DD9 shells to the
I-
RJ45,
I've got some of those too.
and I've got both genders. So, what you could pretty easily ohm out what your end-to-end connection is and make that adapter.
Yeah, it's a real. There's only one. Well, there's two wires. There's ground and
Data out.
data
Yeah.
going this direction, going to the sign. I mean, it's a soup.
So there's no communication from this back to the processor?
There can be,
Okay.
but I don't have it hooked up. The reason they went with this though is this sign also does RS 485.
Okay.
So two of the pairs are
The loop.
the
Yeah.
positive and negative for the 485. And you don't need the ground then.
Right.
And then one of the wires actually will provide 5 volts, but I don't know what the current out is. Yeah, it goes through a bunch of stuff.
This is a 5-volt power supply?
7.
Yeah. Oh, well, you can measure the power. I mean, plug it into a kilowatt with it unplugged from here, see what it is, plug it in, let it sit for a little bit and see how much power is going in. That's what's going into this, minus the loss.
Well,
It can't be all that much. There
So-
probably aren't any resistors on the LEDs for current limiting. It's almost certainly done with time PWM.
yeah, I really don't know. There's a crap ton of shift registers
Mm-hmm.
in there for the LEDs. There's an 8051 processor for the,
That's 150 milliamps right there.
and the firmware chip, one RAM chip,
Dad joke.
and yeah, that chips are horrible. There's 6 or 7 AND gates and OR gates and NOR gates in there, all various gates. And then there's, I can't actually, there's a regulator that I can find, but I can't actually find the bridge, the DC bridge
Full wave bridge?
for it.
That's easy.
Well,
Four
the
big silicon
4-way,
diodes.
the rectifier.
Yeah.
But I don't
So it's
think,
AC.
no, I don't think this one actually supports AC. I think this
Ah.
one is DC only. It's the big signs that are AC, that want the
Okay.
AC.
Where's he getting the temp and the humidity from?
Open weather, open something.
So it's
And
probably
that's-
the internet.
Yeah, and that's the temperature and weather for the house, not for here. Because it doesn't know we're here, it still thinks we're at the house.
I mean, you didn't put a GPS in there?
Slack. Where's the touchscreen?
The 20-year-old
You can touch it.
touchscreen. You can touch it.
Hey, touchscreens were around 20 years ago. I worked on them
Yeah. But
in theater. That was really fun trying to find drivers back in the
I think
ELO monitors.
I think what we actually figured was the overhead for the processor was probably just slightly more, especially when it connects to Wi-Fi, than what the regulator was going to spit out. So I'm going to end up putting a little buck thing on it, and that way it'll just be insulated and it'll have enough power.
I am amazed at how inexpensive power conversion stuff is. You can use a single battery to run practically anything at this point.
Yeah.
Which brings up a very interesting question. What's a good way to replace a 9-volt battery?
With another 9-volt battery.
Well, have you seen the prices on 9-volt batteries?
Yeah. So a little buck converter, 9-volt batteries don't put out any real, a boost converter. They don't put out any power, and doing 5 volts to 9 volts is pretty easy. You can get a boost converter that's the size of a 9-volt battery and put it in a 9-volt battery shell, set it up, adjust it to what you need. You're only going to get 300 milliwatts out of it, but that should be enough for anything that has a 9-volt battery in it.
Yeah, or you could go
Put
the
them on
lithium ion route and do a couple of them and get 6 volts and do the same thing.
Well, sure. I mean, you can.
You could
Do you
go.
want it to stay battery powered? What is it?
it's
a
the
meter?
lock pad for the door.
Oh. Okay, so that kind of needs to be battery powered.
Yeah, that's what I was just reading
Yeah.
today. It said something about that, that you wanted you wanted a Pro Cell or alkaline battery because the rechargeable batteries lose their voltage too fast. And I'm like, and it doesn't give you a warning that, the battery's low. And I'm like, well, I kind of get that, but if you just charge the battery up every so many months and swap them,
Yeah.
but it would be a lot nicer than it going bad so fast. But then they're looking at like the Pro Cells are $20 a pop, and I'm like, what the hell?
So my door lock is 4 AA's. I've changed them once in the 5 years we've lived there, and it was fairly recent. And it's kind of weird. It's got a place on the outside where you can stick a 9-volt battery if your battery inside is dead. Like, because I carry one of those in my pocket.
Yeah.
If I get home and I can't get in my door, I'm far more likely to just jimmy a window.
Yeah,
But-
well, I just go in the other way, but it's just, I was trying to figure out, and I was like looking at 9-volt rechargeable batteries, but then it said that, I was looking into it a little harder today because it was blinking red. Yesterday it didn't blink at all, and it was like, but it was warm, so I thought, well, maybe the battery's getting down and the temperature's affecting it or something. But it's like, it just swapped the battery probably March or February. I'm like, this is stupid. And then I looked at prices for what it is for a new one now. I'm like, holy crap. So I have no idea how old the one was I put in there. I just grabbed it out of the drawer in the utility room. But
Those little 3.7 volt cells that you gave us,
the rechargeables.
no, they
The-
weren't the rechargeable version.
Oh, those little mini. Yeah.
Those little,
I got
set a couple of those up to push out.
9 volts.
They
Probably wouldn't fit in the.
they won't fit in there. No.
Yeah, because you need 3 of them. But then I did all kinds of weird stuff and hang it on the side or something. But I was just like, this is stupid. And I was like, back in the day when 9 volts were like 50 cents, we're like, big whoop-de-doo.
Well, back in the day, you could go to Radio Shack and join the free battery club
Yeah.
Yeah.
and get a halfway decent battery.
Well, that's my thing too. Is that kind of stuff sits on the shelves now so long. Half of them are dead by the time you buy them.
So
Well, I'm kind of surprised that those kind of batteries are still on the shelf in stores, but
9 volts are surprisingly useful, but
well, yeah,
they're just
but
expensive.
well, I didn't even know Pro Cells were a thing until today, but they're made principally for lock pads, and I was like, well, that makes sense, but they're like $24 a pop. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
I'm surprised that they don't recommend a rechargeable and
Well,
sell
that's-
like a battery pack, and you just have 2 of them and swap them out.
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of thinking. I was looking at rechargeable 9 volts a couple days ago on Amazon. I was like, well, that's not horrible. And it's about what it costs to buy a normal one at that rate. And I was like, but then I was like looking at the things on my particular lock just to make sure that's what the error was. and it was like, don't use rechargeable batteries because they,
Well,
drop
recharge.
out.
So that's adjustable. It's 3 volts in, 3 volts to probably 20 volts in,
Yeah.
and 5 volts to 9 volts out. You can adjust it with the little blue trim pot. It's 20 millimeters by 35. It's cheap, but I don't know how much current it uses just to sit there and run.
Yeah, to be idle, and that was kind of what the
I
thing
mean,
kind of yiked about was that the new stuff, like the rechargeable battery, and what it was saying was the problem is
Well, but
it
if
it
you
puts out 1.3 amp or whatever instead of 1.5.
yeah. Well, rechargeables are typically a little bit less
Weaker.
power.
Yeah,
Just enough to
be a problem.
be a pain. Typically,
yeah, a rechargeable 9 volt is usually 7.5,
yeah.
7.4.
It's just enough. It's just enough, but not. It's usually not a big deal. The
Yeah.
electronics
Well,
usually
and
will take a swing between whatever they say
they need and what they
and like plus or minus a volt.
yeah. Well, and that's what and this the crap it was saying about the thing is that part of the problem is the rechargeable. So like on an alkaline, you get this kind of curve,
Yeah.
right? So there's
No,
there's this big window of where it says, "Hey, your voltage is coming down," and where the rechargeable it's lower, but then it goes
Yeah.
cliffs. So when it cliffs, then you're SOL. But then my thing is like,
They're
just
not.
swap the battery pack every 6 months and not worry about it.
They're not wrong. Rechargeables absolutely will.
Mm-hmm.
They're good, and then they're not.
Yeah. Well, that's
But if you've got 2 or 3 sets, who cares if you're changing them out
Mhm.
every 3 months or
Well,
so?
that's what I thought was funny because it was like I was looking at a pair of 9 volts for like $10. And I was like, well, just
And then you
buy
need the charger.
rechargeables.
You need the charger for them. But if you change them out every 3 months, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, you might go from a 6-month change to a 4-month change or something like that. But
Well, that's what's, well, I think the first one lasted like a year and a half,
yeah.
but that's what.
Well, I mean, that's probably what I would do though. Is I probably would look at investing in some good rechargeables.
I almost kind of just want to mod it to take a couple of those 18 whatevers
Yeah.
that we got the other day. And
Those that you got from
might.
your friend or whatever, those have been sitting for a while. So some of them are good and some of them aren't.
That stuff's so old, I don't trust any of it. They're flashlight batteries in my book, but that's the other thing too. That's a $high flashlight, and those cost so damn much. And it's like I've got like 3
Yeah.
flashlights now that are rechargeable. I was like,
Yeah, I've used 2 or 3 of them, and
they go quick.
like crap.
Well, but that's my thing about that Surelight flashlight. I've never had a battery last in it more than a few weeks.
Yeah.
It just eats them, whether it's just because they're kind of drains on them while they're plugged into the casing or what.
No,
But for what they
I've
cost,
seen. I pulled a couple of them out of that box that actually lasted a while, but a bunch of them that I pulled out of the box just kind of. They were good. Boom, done. But they're not rechargeable. They're just.
Yeah, they're just.
They are what they are.
batteries, but they're. I said they're not cheap. They were $6 a pop when they were new.
Yeah.
I have no idea why he had so many of them, other than he had a couple Surelight flashlights and something for his laser scope, probably for his gun.
I had it was basically a fake Ring doorbell camera on my door for a while, and that thing would go through batteries, just constantly, just eat the damn things. But it was neat because it would actually send a message to you that, hey, the batteries are low.
Yeah.
come and replace them.
Save me.
Well, that's kind of so. My thing about the lock for the lock pad was I didn't want something that was integrated because I didn't want something that's telling the world or somebody could remote in and pop it. So it's a standalone thing, but it's a really nice one. But then at the same time, it doesn't have the features to let me know other than like when you punch in the code, you know that it's
Hey, I'm dead.
yeah, it's like blinks to let you know somebody tried to hack in, or blinks to let you know the batteries are low. And that's what was weird is like, and Dad's really bad at punching in the numbers anyway, so I don't know when it's messed up from Dad going in before me, or if it's just the batteries are down.
Well, no, you're. I mean, my opinion is you're better off just with rechargeables and
Yeah.
the heck with what the man.
Yeah.
The heck with
Well,
what
that's
the
what I
book
say. I don't know
says.
how serious it would be.
But you're going a bit less, a little less time, but you're going to have another one sitting there ready to go. So
Yeah.
If it was my toy, I would hook it up to a bench power supply where I can measure current and just slowly bring it up and keep trying the keypad until it works. Then add half a volt to that because this is the lowest voltage you can go.
yeah, you could do that too.
I,
There's all kinds of stuff you could do to it.
Well, that's the other thing too. Why not just have a fancy little capacitor somewhere and have it plugged into the regular grid? And then if the power's out, it's still powered by the cap for the next
are
month.
you okay with running a wire to the door?
I would be. Other people in the house may not, but I'm just saying.
Have this big cap sitting outside.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a wire going up to. Huh.
Well, I mean, so realistically, if you're okay with it being wired, if there's an outlet anywhere nearby, a phone charger will almost certainly do it.
No.
And you can do one of these boost converters that absolutely will give you 9 volts all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
As long as the electric's on for the house. And
Well, it's just like this sign, right? It's a 7-volt DC, but internally, all the microchips, everything is 3 volts or 5 volts. It's all 3
There's
volts.
3-volt stuff? That surprises me.
There's a few. There's
Oh.
not many. There's a few 3-volt things in there,
surprisingly.
but everything is much, much, much less. So you might even be able to get away with just running it off of 5 volts.
Mm-hmm.
The 9 volts might just be there for.
Longevity. That's what I figured. Because when it was talking about that it needed 1.5 or whatever, and the rechargeable would do 1.3, I was like, that seems weird.
Most electronics, most of the stuff, if it's DC, there's a certain
Big
range
step
where
down,
it
yeah.
works.
I just picked up so what I did with those batteries we got from Mike was I got one of the UPSs that's got 6 cells in it, and it's got 5 volts, 9 volts, and 12 volts out. That would probably run that door for like 4 years. And
For a
you can
very
use it
long
as
time.
a UPS.
Yeah.
So but it charges on 12.6 volts, which irritates me because you can't find a 12.6 volt power supply unless you buy it at the same time.
Yeah.
The UPS, $8. The UPS with the right power supply, $24. Bastards.
It's the power supply that's the money.
That's where they're selling.
Yep.
Yeah. I never found a schematic for this, but just based on the the chip numbers and looking up the specs, some of these chips are 3 volts.
Huh.
Whether or not it actually has 3 volts,
Yeah.
I don't know. It definitely drops everything down to 5.
Yeah.
So-
It's weird that they would. I mean,
Mix.
this thing's pretty old, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
So I assumed
using,
it's 8051 processors 5 volts across the board.
yeah,
The 7400 chips are all 5 volt.
it's the gates. Some of the gates are, at least, they're 5 volt, 3 volt, 5 volt
Okay.
tolerant.
Cool.
So
Now, whether or not
And
this thing,
12 volts gets boosted in there somewhere so it can talk RS-232. Couple of caps, that's easy.
so maybe not,
Oh, you think it's TTL level?
maybe. So, in doing this project, right? One of the chips that we found is the RS-485 chip.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've been able to tell, just doing simple, continuity tests between the pins, it looks like that chip is connected to the serial line,
Okay.
to the actual RS-232 line.
Yeah, they're both 12 volts.
Well, it's on the TTL side. It's not on the.
But there's a max 232 in there or something.
There is
No?
not.
Weird.
That's what I said. There is nothing in there.
Huh.
There's nothing in this thing that is RS-232. Everything that I have found is RS-485. The RS-232 is connected to the 485 chip, but on the TTL side, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but whatever. So what Google is telling me, and I don't know if I believe it or not, just based on what I know, what Google is telling me is the RS-232 coming into it is TTL level.
Mm-hmm.
That chip is converting it to RS-485 and shoving it out somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, that's a max 233 chip. So, yeah, you would have noticed that chip.
yeah,
A maximum chip stands out.
it's not.
Huh.
It's not. I used to have a picture of it. It's a weird chip, but I'm going, okay, I guess that makes sense, but somewhere it has to drop it back down so that the firmware or the processor putting 12 volts on the processor is going.
So, okay, a couple Zener diodes, and you can convert that because all you're looking for is the polarity. Well, not
The level.
yeah. So
5 volts
you
or-
can run 485 directly into a processor with a pair of 5 volt Zeners in front of it.
And that may be what they're doing because there's a crap ton of diodes in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of them are Zeners, but there's a crap ton of diodes. Just diodes everywhere. And resistors. And that may be exactly what they're doing, is just dropping
Yeah.
the voltage through a
Resistor to
resistor.
limit the current, diode
Yeah.
to drop the voltage.
Um,
Especially if it's only one way. If it doesn't communicate back, it doesn't need to generate the voltage.
so I actually tried with this long wire, tried to just do TTL, and of course that little chip can't push across the wire.
Right.
So when the 14 foot comes and I chop it down to a foot, I'm going to see if it actually will talk TTL levels and work, because that would be huge to eliminate this mess.
Mm-hmm.
It would just come right out of there and go right into there. But for now,
I mean, you got a scope, don't you?
you know I do, but I didn't think about doing that.
That's what God created scopes.
The design, I understand it's split apart, right? There's all the logic chips on one side, there's the power rail, there's the logic chips, and then there's the input side
Mhm.
of it. It's really an interesting design, but I didn't quite understand just exactly what it was doing and how it was getting from here to here
Yeah.
in a way that the 8051 liked. Because I couldn't figure that one out. I was like, yeah. But I understood, you know, like this is another whole board. There's two separate boards, the LED board, and like the LED board is just a standard shift register, bunch of shift registers, and it's fairly simple to understand what's going on with that one.
Of course, those are the dots.
Turn dots on, turn dots off, move one thing over and do the same damn thing. And do it all really fast.
So it's a bunch of shift registers and not a matrix display?
Yep.
Holy crap.
That's the way the old displays were with shift registers. Bunches of them.
Sounds like our project in digital circuits.
I've seen displays older than this, but slower. The flip dot ones, where it was a Z80 with a bunch of 8255s after it. Why they mixed Z80s and Zilog and Intel, I never figured out. But it had probably 30 8255s. And the memory in the 8255s is where the messages were stored. But it was 8 bits for right off the processor,
Yeah.
and then many column
Do you
bits.
do you remember that old? This is old. Do you remember that sign that I had that had the ESP 8266 in it, and it was just a single color?
I don't, but that doesn't mean a
It
lot.
was just a little thing, four blocks, 8 by 8.
Okay.
Each block.
Oh, yeah.
Each block was 8 by 8. That was all shift registers.
Huh.
I was all done with shift registers. So I the shift register part doesn't surprise me about this. They're dirt simple
Yeah.
and they're cheap. And I'm sure that at the time this was built, because this is not an industrial sign, even though it's made by a company that makes industrial
Mhm.
signs. This was meant for the house.
Yeah. And
Not
the ad
anymore.
for the industrial sign.
Yeah, the ad for the industrial sign.
I want to do a clock with a bunch of ring counters. And finding 80-volt ring counters is easy. Finding standard BJT transistor ring counters is surprisingly difficult. I can find them that use UJTs, but you can't buy those anymore. I'm looking so hard for a ring counter made out of any 2222 NPN transistors, because I have about 2,000 of them.
Now you sound like Ray. I got 2,000 of this.
Well, when Dad died in 2012,
Nobody's paying any attention. Vicente's coming.
no, sorry. When Dad died in 2008, he had boxes and boxes of stuff. And one of those boxes, this big, loose transistors, and they're all 2222s. I need to find things to do with them. 3904 is the same transistor, effectively,
I had.
or 3906. One of those two.
I don't remember where I got this box from, but I had a box that has long since disappeared.
Mhm.
It was about, yay big, about yay tall, and it was completely full of 555 timers. Completely full.
Yeah. I understand that.
And I said, this is a cool box. What the hell am I going to do with 555 timers? There were a couple of 556s in it, but I mean, they were basically all 555.
Yeah.
I really wishing I had 555 timers.
555 timers. I mean, you could do a lot of neat,
Oh, yeah,
cool
all that
stuff for
I
with
used to
it.
have wanted them. I never had any. I think I got a couple now, but I've never messed with any of those projects since college.
Yeah.
So let's throw this out while I'm remembering it. I don't think I shared with you guys. Did you see the video of the guy converting a CNC machine or a 3D printer into a chip placement for 0201 chips?
No.
I don't think so.
Have you ever seen a 0201 chips?
They're teeny tiny.
Not really.
No.
He's playing with tweezers, and he lays this chip on the thing beside some grains of rice, and he goes, "Yeah, that's not the chip. It's the one on the grain of rice beside it."
Yeah. They're teeny tiny.
There's the picture.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
That's what he plays with,
Nice.
and he built a 3D printer
Oh yeah.
to place those chips for him. And this isn't the guys that did it, but I don't know if you guys can see it or not.
Wow.
The little black speck's the chip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's where the arrow's pointing up the rice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Electronics has gotten to the point of a get off my lawn.
Yeah,
I can't solder anything anymore. I can't desolder anything. I can barely find a test point on a circuit board.
so what was interesting though is so you don't actually solder those, you bake them on.
Right.
Yeah.
So this little placement machine he built has like a little micro spec hole vacuum thing, and it pick up the chip, and then he had like a joystick that he could spin, rotate, and then place it under the microscope. And he did all that and laid out all this board, and he had an IC chip that was that series that was a little bitty square thing, probably not even like a 1/4 inch big. And then he put it on the heat plate to cook it, and he said, "Yeah, pay attention to that temperature. We'll talk about that later. It's at 350 degrees
Oh, that's warm.
C." And then he got done, and he gets to those. Said, "Yeah, the machine worked great. This is an awesome machine. I'm glad I built it. I'll use it a lot. You know how I said that, pay attention to that temperature? 350 wasn't the set temperature. It's supposed to have been 240.
Yeah.
Said I cooked all these chips."
Yeah, max you want to hit on those is 270. And that's if you're doing it as a wave.
Yeah, and he said I only had the one IC, so he's like, I gotta wait for another one to come in to build this board to see if it worked.
Yeah. I've watched.
But I was like, that's nuts.
I've watched dozens of videos where, you put the solder mask on, you put the chip in, and then you just put it on the stove or whatever, turn the heat on
Yeah, like a little heat plate.
for a few minutes, and you're done.
I was like,
And I'm like,
I was wondering.
that's cool, but I'm like you. I want to solder something.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's 0.3 millimeter wide. And I'm like, how do you solder that? And then when we got to the end, he laid it on like a little
Yeah.
plate, like you heat chemicals on or something, and cooked it for a couple minutes. It had a little digital temp gauge, and
There's the ones that are slightly bigger that you can actually see and use.
the one beside it.
Those are easier to deal with, but you've got to put the solder mask down and
Yeah.
place them just right. I've actually soldered a few of them with an actual soldering gun.
I have too. I've put in way too many things that are polarity sensitive the wrong way, though.
Yeah.
Because I can't see them.
Right.
I do it underneath a microscope, and I get preoccupied with getting the solder right, and I failed to look for the little line that says which end is positive.
Well, I had some LoRa boards for the D1 minis years ago, and they needed a capacitor and a resistor. And I ordered both, no problem. And I specifically ordered the capacitor to be non-polarity because of, just for that reason. And I get both of them, and I take them out of the package, and I started looking at them, and I can't tell them apart.
Which
and I'm
is
like,
weird.
oh, crap, why did I do this? So I had to order them again.
Well, I mean, a cap and a resistor you can tell apart with a meter. But yeah,
I just was like,
You could try. When they're that small.
yeah, I mean, these were just barely big enough to solder,
yeah.
Old with the tweezer.
and I was just like, I'm not messing with this.
So
There was no markings on either one of them. It was just here's what we say it is.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I'm not sure why they've been showing up in my searches and stuff a lot recently, but the bed of nails test beds have been popping up a lot, and I've got an older one that's got 4 needles on it, so I can do reasonable stuff and use all 4 channels on my scope. But the ones on my feeds have been like $400. What the hell? I don't need that. Mine is, it's not magnetic. The new ones are a steel plate with magnetic probes and stuff. Mine's just got aluminum wire, and you bend it into shape, and it stays pretty well.
It's good enough.
Yeah. It's spring loaded on the end, and if you get it in the right spot, it isn't going to move because they're very pointy. They're steel needles. Don't get them in your finger; they hurt.
I ordered. Oh, was it 4 or 5 years ago, Vicente? We were messing with those. What were they? They had a keyboard on them and a screen, and they came from the schools. The schools were using them for a while, and they had a I don't remember what Arduino chip they had in them, but you needed pogo pins to program them. You had to poke them through the hole, and I ordered the wrong set of pogo pins. I got it to work, but it never was right.
You got the little crown ones instead of the pointy ones, something like
No,
that.
yeah, I got ones that were too thin. So the board that you solder them to
Mhm.
shifts around in there, and if you're not touching the right spot, just because it's a little too thin.
So what's this?
Oh, you want this now? You don't want to see it? Beep. In 5 minutes, it'll beep again. Nobody will have to touch it to remind you that it said something important.
Thinking about you. Code complete. The dad jokes were funnier.
So you want to clear them so that you just hit the clear button and the dad jokes will come back.
Look what I did last week with pogo pins. Let me show you.
Okay.
Share.
Have you enabled share?
It usually tells me first. Because, I don't know. There you go.
What's Art Strip say?
Look at this.
It's got the first 2 lines. It's on practice.
Can you see this?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
This is the pogo pins, tiny pogo pins. I use a laser to cut several cardstock pieces. This is paper, okay, thick paper, black. I cut several of them to make a sandwich to copy this connector. So I put the pogo pins in the holes. I'm using UV resin with to make the connector. See, this connector is to program the Arduinos without with programmer, with the AVR Atmel programmer. Let me find another picture to show what I'm talking
you're too
about.
professional. You're too professional.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be hacking stuff together.
This is my connector, you know. This is what I did.
Nice. That for
this-
for your emulator, your ruler.
No, I bought these boards from a guy that sell this the ruler is a simulator of the Kimba Quanta also,
Yeah.
like mine, but this one has 5 years old and the firmware need to be changed to be upgraded. So there is only these paths in the board to program. So I made the full connector to upgrade the firmware. Let me check if I see. Wait a minute. I don't see. Let me show you. This is me programming the board using the connector. And the Arduino, I see. They are really, really tiny.
Nice.
Okay, let me.
Look, he has some of those little tiny chips too.
I use this blue thermo shrink. This is the connector here, you see?
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really small, but it works. I use as guides, I use another power pins also, bigger, but I put them backward. This is the back end of the power pin, not the contact, you know.
Right.
I use them as a guide for these holes, these 3 holes.
Okay.
So does it use all 9 conductors or only the 6?
I'd say the 6.
You need the 6 because it's BCC ground, reset, and I2C MISO, MOSI, and
A clock.
chip enable or plug or whatever. Are the 6 pins that use the Arduino, the standard Arduino Uno. The same pins.
Very cool.
Okay, it's my project. I also ordered this from China last week. I ordered the push buttons for an arcade game, the connectors,
Mm-hmm.
and this is my extension for for my router computer. My idea is to make a PCB to connect these buttons to the router. Okay. I'm working in the router. Let me show you the PCB I am working on. One second. Here. This is the board I am working on. Here goes the grow connector.
Yeah.
This is the I2C expander. And here I will connect the A buttons. Each button has LED control and switch. So you need 4 cables for each connector, each button. The button has the 2 connectors for the LED and 2 connectors for the switch.
Okay. Yeah.
But you can use these standard cables to connect to your PCB and to your switches, buttons. It's like a standard stuff. Okay. So it's a project in progress. There are no trays yet, but I have all the parts that are needed. Okay, that's it. Stop sharing.
This little thing is a 16 by 32 LED matrix.
Okay.
Franklin Garage Sales. I found that brand new. I got it for $5, not $6, because they really wanted $6, and I was like, I really only want to give you $5.
Are they NeoPixels or is a matrix to the controller?
Maybe.
Maybe what?
It.
That's cool.
I'll Google seems to think that these are NeoPixels,
Okay.
but if you look really, really close, you can see like 4 traces going up to them.
Okay.
So I think it's RGB and RGB and a
Okay.
ground.
How much you pay for that?
$5.
Wow. Where?
Garage sale.
Okay.
The
Highway robbery.
highway robbery. There's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 chips that look like the same thing. Probably a memory chip and something that looks like an Arduino, but absolutely no chip has any label on it at all.
Okay.
None.
I think that those are drivers. You know?
Yes. So I'm thinking that these are some sort of drivers. I'm thinking that is an Atmega something or other. But a definite counterfeit Atmega something or other. It sure looks like an Atmega.
Maybe, since everything now, instead of having numbers printed, they just blast it with a laser. It might be that when they epoxied over it, it just filled that in.
I don't know. See, like
That is
dozens,
pretty generic.
dozens of companies use this exact same thing.
Oh, no, probably buying them from the same place.
Yes. No, but they're sticking different firmware on them because what should work doesn't work with that one.
Of course not.
So It's
Yeah, I don't see any
there's
numbers.
no numbers on it that I saw on any of the chips. None of the chips have numbers. Those things are counterfeit. 3 kinds of counterfeit. Anyway, it's a Bluetooth device, and it's supposed to be app controlled. But when I went to get the app, Google says, you might not want to install this app. It
Ooh.
is definitely a Chinese app. And I'm like, yes, if I have to do a data sniff or whatever to figure out what it is actually doing to send, I'm not putting it on my phone. I'm going to put it on a different device. Something that doesn't matter.
There's a 0 ohm resistor in the corner that has a 0 on it. That's it.
That's
the
it.
only thing I see that has any marking.
So, because it's Bluetooth, there are some other, dozens of companies make these, and other people have sniffed out and figured out how to talk to them with like an ESP32 or a Home Assistant or whatever. Just not this one. This one has to be different. So, but that's why I bought it, because I was like, oh, I could hook up an ESP32 over Bluetooth and just send messages to it. No, it's not quite that simple. But it does work, and it has this little remote. So if we plug it in, the remote does work. It does nice colors. And it's upside down. It says LED. And then, uh-oh, I'm turning right.
That doesn't even show up on that camera.
A little bit.
No, yeah.
It's
Turn.
like
I
8
see.
pixels
I see.
by 12.
Turn left. Pull over. Congestion.
Congestion ahead.
That probably doesn't show up real well. That's a smiley face
With teeth.
with teeth.
It looks like a tortilla for me.
And then you've got the caution thing. So I will probably find something to do with this, even if I can't figure out how to make it talk over
Nice.
Bluetooth.
For
Nice,
$5,
nice.
that's a hell of a buy.
Yeah, Google.
What do they normally run?
About 20.
Hmm.
Google.
Maybe for the bigger one.
Yeah, the bigger one would be nice. I actually kind of thought that this was a little bit bigger, but for $5, who cares? Google says that I could just scrape off the stuff and just connect the LEDs and use it like that, and I'm like, yeah, but it would be kind of nice just to, right here, the only real markings are for the pins. There's one that says 5 volts, RX1, TX1, and ground, which I'm assuming means you could talk to this thing over serial.
Yeah. Well, I had assumed that those were in line with the USB port.
I would assume that is like at Mega, the Mega.
Specific programmer?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one here lines up with one of these. One of these I saw looked like it was a ICSP, like a programmer.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's doing this obviously is able to change the firmware on them before they ship them out, because the projects that I have found don't work with this one. I can get the ESP to actually connect to it,
Yeah.
it will pair, but it will not update the sign. Just need to figure out what it's actually looking for to talk to the sign.
Are the ends on it magnetic?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Kind of
not.
looked like it was.
Yeah, I wish.
Maybe it's just to look fancy and
Make you think it's something other than it is. But I'm thinking there's some shift registers and some other stuff, and if you look really, really close with a good camera or magnifying glass or whatever, you can see that there's 4 wires going to each LED.
You can see it on the back easier.
Yeah. Which tells me that this is not a
Well,
WS
why would they do it
2020.
with 0.038 cent per LED ones when they can do it with 0.036 cent per LED one?
Yeah, well, that was my. Because if that was actually a NeoPixel matrix,
Yeah.
I would be like, wow, hell yeah. I'm going to
I
go
just
buy a
gotta
bunch
find the
of them.
beginning of the line.
I'm going to go buy a bunch of them. But
oh, they have more.
What's the size the matrix?
this matrix is 16 by 32. 2 people entered the waiting room. Who's in my waiting room?
Mike and Mike.
We'll let Mike
You
and
have
Mike
to
in.
admit him twice.
I don't know which Mike is Mike. There he is.
So you.
I need to start paying attention in my waiting room.
I think you can make it ding. You
I was
can
stuck in limbo.
associate an alarm
You,
with it.
you were stuck in limbo. How long were you in there?
Not very long. Most of the purgatory time was, I got credit for that.
Okay, that's fair. I guess.
Today is one of those days where I shouldn't have gotten out of bed. I'm working on a project. I can't get the super glue container to open. It's stuck. The nozzle is stuck. So I stick it in the vise and I tighten it down, and I get a pair of pliers and I twist it. I can't get it untwist, but I do rip the tube open and get super glue on my hands. So I get another tube of super glue out, pop it open, and start using it. The wood I'm using splits, so I come inside to get a drill bit and some additional type of glue. I go to switch the light off in the garage. The light switch breaks.
How do
I
you?
come up here thinking, I'll just zoom in for a few minutes. No, I'm parked in purgatory.
Sorry.
No, as long as you know what you're dealing with.
I like that the tape says the smell of the adhesive tape will environmentally friendly and non-toxic and will disappear soon.
I question their debate on non-toxic.
You mean on our completely generic with absolutely no marks anywhere from a manufacturer?
I found it in
Just something that
AliExpress.
says made in China?
I found it in AliExpress.
What, this light? How much is it from AliExpress?
Sharing.
21, yeah.
Is this one? You see the same?
Yeah, that looks like the same one.
That one's bigger. That's 16 by 96. That's 3 times as long.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
Nah, I don't think so.
The
It's
different
six,
colors, the different
is
resolutions.
this one 16 by 32?
Yeah, you
Here.
see, you
Ah.
see down there, he's got.
They are different. This is the big one.
The Chinese discount those pixels, you know.
Yeah.
And it's free shipping.
I love English.
This whole product screams
English.
just we're going to scam you. We know we're going to scam you, and you're going to buy it and be happy.
There is this one in Amazon,
Yeah, I found them on Amazon.
25.
Price isn't that much different.
Oh, yeah, a lot of
But
things.
they have this is the
Scary.
Yeah,
this is
$20.
17
Yeah,
for
I-
free
I-
delivery tomorrow.
the lady was like, "And that's brand new, and I just bought that, and it's the wrong size. I will give you $5 for it." "Oh, you gotta give me $6. I just bought it." "No, I will give you $5 for it.
Here's the bill. Your choice.
It's like
If you want to sell it, I will give you $5. If you don't want to sell it,
probably bought it
I'm
off
good with that."
Fast Track for like $1.
Probably. I just was like, I don't need it, but if you'll take $5, I will give you $5.
I used
Yes,
to
you
do
need
direct
it.
sales a lot, and like the treasure aisles and the other one on the other side. I can't remember it.
Yeah.
Marla does not like that sort of things. I haven't been to a yard sale in like 5 years now.
Patty loves yard sales, but
Yeah,
she loves them, but she doesn't really find anything to buy, which is good.
yeah.
She just likes going and looking at other people's junk.
My stuff is weird mechanical antiques. That's what I specifically look for. I mean, I'm driving down the road, I see a yard sale. If it's got a pile of clothes, I don't even slow down.
Right.
But if it's stuff,
But Patty likes the clothes, and I like looking at the
Yeah.
stuff. So if there's yard sales that have both, we're both kind of happy. If there's yard sales that are just clothes, it's like, I'm not getting out of the car for this.
best yard sale I ever went to was down near Baden High School. And I assume it was some woman who was going through a divorce, and she was selling all of her husband's stuff and cheap. She had no idea what anything was. This was when I was still into remote control airplanes and stuff, and I bought $1,000 worth of World Engines RC gear for $12.
Could be just trying
Did you listen for sirens on the way home? Because you should have been arrested for theft.
Nope. Got 2 models out of the deal. It was nice.
I pull up and park the car across the street from several of the sales. "Oh my gosh, the cops are here. Everybody hide your stuff. The cops are here." Like, dude, I'm just wanting to see what kind of junk you got. I don't care if you got stuff or not. People, frankly, are kind of funny.
Yeah, okay. I got a few of those.
Yeah. Very handy.
Yeah. I think mine are orange, because I like orange. It's one of the few things.
I think this is one of the few things I actually bought on Amazon that was cheap enough to make it worthwhile and not wait for it to come from China. Last week, I had bought that Tab 5 from DigiKey, I went through their stuff again to find more stuff that didn't have tariffs.
This is mesh.
M5 stack,
Another one.
mesh, the mesh kit, which is basically the Cardpooter Advanced and the LoRa board receiver in one deal. No tariffs. It ended up costing $60 with the shipping and everything. But that was cheaper than the $100 that it would have cost with the tariffs. And if you look on DigiKey and you look up just for the Cardpooter Advanced and the LoRa board, both of them are tariffed things. But together they're not tariffed. Go figure.
Cool.
And I am not telling them a damn thing about it. I am going to just keep buying stuff until they figure it out on their own.
They don't mind. They're getting their money.
Right. Included it in the shipping.
Shipping was $8. So if they included it in the shipping, they shored themselves out
Yeah.
by about $40.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally, if you buy this kit from China, it will end up costing you about $94, $95.
Is it
Yeah.
available in Tactile?
I'm just, if you go on eBay and you buy it, you know, if you look it up and find it on eBay, it's $100.
Huh.
Easy $100. So, DigiKey, you're my new friend right now. Even though that's still kind of out of my price range for some stuff.
I worked for a company in Newtown doing electronics repair stuff. And we ordered enough stuff that we had a DigiKey salesperson.
Yeah.
Looking at this.
Excuse me. They were sending me toys so frequently.
What is this? Is that M5 stack?
I don't know. Yes, in 5 stack.
Okay, so is this going to be a new thing?
Yeah,
That's
a
on.
Linux terminal.
Wow. Okay. Powered by the Raspberry Pi. Grab it now before it's gone. Oh, I
And
need
the screen is bigger. I like that.
I don't want to know how much they see how much they want for it. Click on that bit.ly.
I got
Uh-oh. You all right? Yes, no, maybe.
Marla took the dogs for a walk.
Yeah,
Another dog came along, and two of them got in a fight. She got pulled down, and she thinks
Ooh.
she might have a broken finger.
not
We're gonna
good.
go
That's-
take a look.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's
So,
alright.
talk to you later.
Yeah.
This is a Kickstarter.
Hopefully, you'll have to let us know.
Will do. Thank you. But
Oh, it's a Kickstarter. Okay. How much do they want for it? What's the all gone? The early birds are gone. So they want $80 plus probably plus something. $104. You're getting out of my price range at $100. I'm cheap.
So
M5 is starting to get into more powerful stuff. They're not just doing microcontrollers anymore. So,
I say they all seem to be doing that.
Huh.
Even the Raspberry Pi is starting to.
well, Raspberry Pi is making microcontrollers.
Yeah, I was gonna say
They went kind of the opposite direction.
everybody's getting out of the micro stuff because it's gotten so expensive for the chips now that
Yeah.
you need to make something that actually does something.
I'm happy. I'm happy with my microcontrollers.
Hobby field's kind of eating it in the face right now.
Yeah. Well, the tariffs don't help.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if you can get around the tariffs,
Well, to me, they should. Well, it makes it hard to motivate the companies to make the stuff here without the tariffs.
I know.
But at the same time, it'd be nice if we had the production capability here before the tariffs kicked in to help the companies build the stuff to build them first. But then the companies wouldn't build it if there wasn't a tariff. So it's danged if you do and danged if you don't.
Stupid circle. Yeah. It's one of those. You got to do something, but you can't do this, and if you do this, you can't do that.
I was watching a guy today actually. He's trying to. It's kind of funny. I guess I don't know. He has a pretty big YouTube channel. I've never seen him before, but it's called Smarter Every Day or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's building a grill cleaner. Trying to just source all the parts in America to make that, and then to the point that they're building 2/3 of it in house now because there isn't anybody that can do it in America. This clip is only like a week old or something. It's very interesting what all he had to say, and how they're doing stuff and what all the loops were to make each piece and part, because they went through all this work with a company out of Florida, and when they got the first box, it came from Costa Rica.
Okay.
So then they were like, well, are these Chinese made going through Costa Rica to dodge tariffs, or is this, this is definitely not American made or sourced how we were told,
Right.
So then it goes on like a 15-minute rant of, them finding somebody else to help them design a new mold, and then doing injection molding, then dealing with somebody with 3 or CNC printers to make molds, because last time it took them 8 months to get that mold made, and found a company with CNC machinery was able to bang them out a prototype mold in a week. And he said locally, he said, well, that was nice. And then a local injection mold company, got him up and running, and then sold them all the equipment because he wanted to retire anyway. So, the guy helped him out and how to do all his tooling and everything to make the part, and then retired. And then he was helping them do a lot of other tooling.
Like I've yeah.
But
There are a few places here that do actually make microcontrollers, but the problem is the stuff is expensive.
oh yeah, well, because over here, the material cost is China's subsidizing half of that, or
Yeah.
they're just flat eating it in the face to undercut American products. There was another company I watched a few months back, or back around January or something. They lost a contract because the price of copper in the U.S. is 30 cents more a pound than the Chinese, so they're kicking these like 30 cents parts out for 16 cents in China. And you say, I'm making a penny a part, and I don't have an employee because it's all robotic. It's like I can't go any lower.
Most of the stuff that I've seen that's actually being made here is kind of niche stuff too. They don't make like ESP32s. They make these microcontrollers that
Yeah,
are for a
that's gone.
specific
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, they're not open source projects. They're
Well,
down to the
partially open source. I mean, you
Well,
can
they're-
use them, but
they're designed around a specific product to keep the company afloat, and that was the other thing that was interesting too, because the guys making that scraper, they're using chainmail, and you know, like, they can't find anybody in North America that manufactured chainmail, and so they were looking to order from China, or I mean India, and the Indians were buying it from China.
Yeah.
So they ran into this whole, it's called monolism or something, because there's only one company manufacturing the product worldwide now, you know. So
There's only one company manufacturing the product.
right, you know. Well, that's, it was kind of funny that because they did manage to finally find a Canadian company, and they found an American company that could manufacture. They just not at the volume they needed.
Yeah.
So they can't keep, the American company can't keep up with their order. And it was funny because the Canadian company was like, yeah, we'll be happy to help you, you know. It's like, and they were more than happy to work with them and stuff, and teaching them how to make their own chainmail, because the American companies had moved all their stuff to China and just about put them out of business. So they understand internal sourcing, you know, and staying afloat, and they've managed to spread into some other markets doing some other things. But it was interesting just to listen to all talking just how hard it is.
Yeah.
I think that guy's name is Destin or Justin, something like that.
Dustin, I think, yeah. Yeah.
About 5 years ago, I started watching him when they said the welders in my shop came up and said, "We've made a bicycle you can't ride." And he looked at it and he said, "Well, all they've done is put two gears in there. When you turn the handlebars left, the wheel goes right. I should be able to think through this. You know, I know what it is." And he hops on it, and he gets about 3 feet before he falls over.
Because it's all backwards.
Because it's all backwards. And his
keep
little
people
son
from
at the
stealing
time was about 5 years old. And he said in about 2 hours he could write it because his brain was still plastic.
Yeah, I've never been taught.
So
Stuck to
he
convention.
goes through this whole thing about eventually he learned how to write it.
Yeah.
And he did a conference in the Netherlands, and everybody's riding bicycles. And he gets on a regular bike, and he can't ride it. And he says, all the people here in Holland think that I'm just an uncoordinated, dumb American.
Well, he just needs to loan them his bike for a few minutes, and they can face plant a time or two too. It looks like an interesting channel. I just found it this afternoon, so I have to watch some more stuff from him.
His enthusiasm is contagious.
Yeah.
He's another one like Mike Rover. He does engineering. Come on in.
All right.
We're supposed to have it till 7, but I'm getting ready. I'm working on it. No, you're fine. I'm working on it. I know. I know there's another group behind us. I think they want the boardroom.
Yeah.
You guys want to call it a little early?
As well.
Might as well.
What's your shirt say, Art? I've been practicing social distancing for years. I have one that you guys will know.
Oh, yep.
As God's my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Yeah. Poor Lester. All right, I'll see you guys next week. We're virtual, or no, we're in person again next week. So
Okay.
we'll see you.
Guys, see you.